time. These magazines wanna feature me, cause they know I'm on the rise. But the attention, I'm on a mission. Cause ever since I flipped that switch, my power can't be denied. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to coverage of the Northwest Racing Series, the trucks presented by CLICKIT RV. Round number 10 tonight from the virtual Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. This is going to be an exciting racetrack. Track at a mile in length. Should be exciting. Looking forward to bringing it to you tonight on this Monday, May 15th. I'm Wesley Outland. Justin Prince is alongside. Charles Wooten is always working on our broadcast production behind the scenes in the CLICKIT RV Rocket Racing Media production booth. And I'll tell you what, Justin, you got to love Worldwide Technology Raceway, a.k.a. Gateway. This is going to be an exciting race, no doubt about it. I think I said exciting 3 times in the last 1 minute. You don't know what you're going to see when it all's said and done. And, of course, you've got a guy like Ryan Bloom and Devin West, who's carrying on a lot of momentum in the Northwest in the last 2 wins in the trucks.
Yeah, curious to see what Devin West can do with how the momentum's been shaping up indeed. But, of course, this racetrack very unique in terms of its shape, in terms of more so a Darlington sort of style shape with the egg shape, but also the 0.25 miles. Also a track, mind you, with the way the banking's set up at one end compared to the other, that sets up the potential we see shifting tonight amongst these trucks. So it's going to be critical to make sure you have the right setup and turn, to make sure you're not bottoming out hard in 1 and 2, to in turn be quick around the racetrack, as you then have to slow roll it through 3 and 4 tonight.
I can't believe this. I was preparing for the broadcast for tonight, Justin. I can't believe this is round 10. Where in the world did the season go? It seems like it just got started, and we're literally already 1/3 of the way through in the schedule.
That's how quick things can go, right? And already quickly more approaching that holiday break in a couple weeks' time. And this is, mind you, just approaching that point as well, where we're just heading towards that last RTP round 1 race on the schedule before things really split apart, and then we go to a variety of different racetracks, including tracks like Okayama, which is amongst those on the schedule, for example. So there's a lot of intrigue for the upcoming races. But tonight, some more familiarity in terms of a track many of these competitors have raced at with these trucks in the past with. So it's just a matter, are you prepared? Are your notes solid? And are you going to be able to survive this race tonight?
Going into tonight's race, the top 10 are separated by mere 90 points from Ryan Bloom to Jaden Ledbetter. And let's be honest, all the drivers that are in the fold of the top 10, some are still looking for wins. Some have two, like Ryan Bloom. And again, as I mentioned, the guy with Kevin Smith, of course, has been on the tear lately with poles at 3. But bottom line, we've got to stop Devin West. I think he's been the momentum guy here in the Northwest Series, no doubt, for the last couple of weeks.
Well, it really helped last time out when it came to Darlington. The key was keep the truck clean and you'll be fast. Guess who kept the truck clean until just about the very end? Devin West. So that really helped emphasize that importance at a track like that. But tonight's going to also be a track where you not only want to keep it clean, but it's also very setup dependent over the years of notice because of how difficult it can be to race around this track and needing to be able to have a truck that drives well in 3 and 4 for the corner exit to then launch it off into turn 1 before you go to the banking to make sure you don't bottom out that front bumper and that splitter into the ground. So I think tonight could lean back towards some of the teams that have a lot of strength in numbers per se, such as the Win Racing trucks, such as Kevin Smith you see here, who led the way in practice. So I expect some of those teams with that data set to have a lot more of an advantage tonight.
Yeah, we'll see how all this goes, of course, as we go down to full screen on-track activity here in qualifying, and we look at now Kevin Smith. Wow, sideways into the safer barrier. Oh, that's not good.
I don't think Kevin Smith's happy whatsoever. That was his first lap, having to reset there. And keep in mind, he was able to run in the 33.3s in final practice. Now likely going to have to start towards the middle of the pack at best. Interested to see how drivers like Ryan Gormley play out tonight as well, because we've seen him do well with the 1.5 miles. Well, that's a good answer. It looks like that truck may not be handling great tonight.
And, of course, the driver that we mentioned, Devin West from Shelton, Washington. Ready to see what the LSRTV West Racing entry Chevrolet will do. Because right now he works his way down the front straightaway here. Very unique racetrack, as we mentioned. Kind of reminds me, if you will, of a mimicking of New Hampshire, but without the banking, if you will. Kind of a more of a... New Hampshire's a flat track, obviously. This track's got a little banking in the corners, but it is a mile in distance.
1.25 miles to be precise these days. And keep in mind, this racetrack seen a lot of action amongst its respective grouping. 11 degrees of banking, though, in turns 1 and 2 compared to the 9 degrees in 3 and 4. Much more towards that New Hampshire feel, indeed. And if anything, as well, the Milwaukee mile in 3 and 4, you can also compare it to. But 1 and 2 is a little bit more difficult because you can't just route the bottom. You have to be able to slide it up. But it's also so easy for drivers to just either smack the wall, add their paint to that wall you just seen out of turn 2, or just spin it around. That usually ends up being the vast majority where the cautions end up happening, because someone just ends up going too hard and looping it or crashing into the wall.
Devin West working his way down the front straightaway. Obviously, the way he arcs through 3 and 4 sets up that momentum of what it will be like when he crosses over the start-finish line. And Devin West will end up qualifying 12th right now. There's Chris Kynes in his Chevrolet Silverado, waiting to see if he'll come on track. Ryan Bloom is right now the man everybody's gunning for on the pole, 33.75. Dan West Jr., 33.60, a 33.76, if you will, also. So 33.57, my apologies, the time to beat for Ryan Bloom. He's on the pole. 33.60 for Dan West Jr., 33.76 for Dennis Moore. Sean Brightsman, 33.86, and a 33.94, tied with 3 drivers now for 5th. Tyler King, William Fletcher, and Toby Ritters is now, we see the natural light 22 of Ryan Gormley back in the wall again. Oh, man, Natterdays is not having a good time in his Chevrolet.
I think he's bottomed out every single time he's entered the corner at both ends of the racetrack. Reset multiple times. Gormley not going to be able to put up a time whatsoever. Devin West, though, just put up a second time. Not able to move up, and just like that, our 26-driver field all set to go.
Yeah, qualifying already in the books. We're ready to go here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway of Gateway, just outside the Golden Arches of St. Louis, Missouri. Ready to go now with the starting lineup. Ryan Bloom on the pole. This race will be under the lights, by the way. Dan West Jr., row number 1, row 2. Dennis Moore in the 44, Sean Brightsman in the 46, 2020 Cup champion. Tyler King, last year's truck champion. And William Fletcher, looking good as of late in the 28, row 3. Row 4, Toby Ritters and Stephen O'Hare, the 41. Top 10, we'll find Frank Harris, good qualifying run. And even though he was in the wall earlier, Christopher White, the 2021 Northwest Cup champion, will start 10th.
Row number 6 features Jeff Stabnow in the 34-second bracket, 11th spot. Devin West did not take part in practice. He'll start 12th in the field tonight. Row 7, the Catman James Vining tonight in the 333. The red, black, and white truck starts alongside the 7 of Brett Johnson. Behind him in row 8, inside line, Jaden Ledbetter. Looks strong for parts of the race at Darlington, looking to try and charge the field from 15th. John Annenbacher looking for some luck from 16th. 2 other drivers set times in qualifying tonight. They're both in row 9. Chris Kine starts 17th. 18th spot goes to Ron Hunter. Rounding out the top 22 drivers who crashed in qualifying, Kevin Smith, top of the board in final practice. Ryan Gormley, multiple issues on multiple attempts to put up a time in quali.
Yeah, if they're gonna try to go to the front, hands down, they're gonna have to somehow do it from the back of the pack. Aaron Cooper, B.J. Tendrick making up row 11, row 12, Lowther and Daggett, and the final row of 26, Kamari and Burke right there. As again, we give you the lineup, 26 drivers ready to come to green. Kaufman Creative Weather Conditions, bottom right of the screen. And there you see it, 77 under the lights. It's a night race, air temp and track temp, very close to one another. No wind. Okay, as I say that, it just jumped up 1 to 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour. But for the most part, on the sim world tonight, Justin Prince, a calm night.
I don't think that's an accident what the weather conditions are tonight, because did you know today is iRacing default weather day? The default weather conditions on iRacing whenever you start a session: low humidity, partly cloudy. May the 15th in sim. Technically they said to June the 3rd for this race, but it's 78 degrees for the usual temperature. Just a little bit lower for now for the night conditions, so I'm pretty sure they realize what day it is today.
It's perfect. All right, great analogy there. I know a lot of people in iRacing are looking forward to whenever they make it work and rain at the racetrack. Oh, wow. Dan West Jr., Ryan Bloom ready on the front row for this race to get underway. Pacing the field, mile and a quarter, as Justin mentioned. Very unique entrance onto the pit lane. We'll discuss that later on as well. As they come to the line, ready to fire out of the Geico restart zone for the initial start. Round 10. We're underway. Green flag, and you have a virtual race. And Dan West Jr. powers away from Win Racing. And they're underway into turn number 1.
A terrible start for Ryan Bloom. Already contact. Brightsman up on the wall. A spin for Bloom to the inside. Brightsman rides the wall. 3 wide as they try and dodge him down the backstretch. And an absolutely horrible start for the point, as Ryan Bloom, the pole sitter, has to tow it.
Dennis Moore getting up high on the transition out of 3 and 4. Sean Brightsman, Ryan Bloom, calamity off of turn 2. No caution. We stay green on lap 1. And Dan West Jr., the leader.
From what I can tell, Ryan Bloom elected not to put the toe on. He's going to try to run half a lane, track back rather. Dennis Moore amongst those, trying to battle meanwhile. This is for the 3rd spot, inside line. Frank Harris holding outside groove. Moore makes quick work. Once again, Win Racing 2-3. Dan West Jr. with all the calamity, already leading by 2 seconds.
King on the inside. Stab now right there with one another. And there's Harris, the Oregon Ducks number 11 machine, down to the inside. He's in fourth. What a drive for Frank Harris, by the way, up 5 spots in the opening laps.
And that's what happens when everybody stacks up and you're able to find the right hole. You can make your way forward. Speaking of making the way forward, through 3 and 4, Kane wrapping along the curbing. Sits by Jeff Stab now. King's showing some good pace in the Beaver State Racing truck. Already back to his starting spot for the check. A wreck in turn 3. Caution is now out at BJ Tedrick in the 72.
That's up right there for Tedrick. And the yellow flag will come out for the first time here tonight at Worldwide on lap number 3. Justin, you saw it break loose. Trouble for the 2-time Northwest winner of the series.
Well, BJ Tedrick definitely broke loose at the back of the field, just past Chris Kynes. Wanted to get to the bottom fully, sends it, launches it underneath Ron Hunter. And that just stacked everything up as his truck just lost the back end. Chris Kynes helps finish the job. And that's enough to trigger the caution flag. That massively helped Sean Breisman and Ryan Bloom from that first lap corner 2 exit collision. Now they're in a spot where they can get the damage fixed or take the fast repair. You know who doesn't want that didn't want that caution? Dan West Jr., he was still up by 2 seconds after that.
Now that'll trigger our first yellow flag of the race. Of course, Virginia 811, call before you dig. Caution summary information. One caution lap, no lead changes. That's brought to you by Virginia811.com, reminding you dig with care. Call before you dig. One yellow flag already in the opening handful of laps here. And let's be honest, Justin, I really thought we were going to see those problems happen in turn 2 on the start.
I mean, we really did. We really did, because Dan West Jr. just got a better launch to the outside, first of all. I was curious if that would enter trick into black. That did not do so. But it just was a terrible run through the corner in the first place when it came to Ryan Bloom, and everything was stacking up. Dennis Moore with the contact to the back bumper really stacked things up too. Now, 2-year drivers expected to be able to contend at least for the top 5 tonight, significantly damaged here. It's going to be intriguing what they decide to do in terms of how they play the rest of this race. It's worth noting, I've just looked to the pit lane. Bloom and Breitzman both not taking their fast repair despite significant damage to their trucks.
Yeah, under the yellow flag here again in the start of all this chaos and mayhem ongoing. But right now, Dan West Jr. being showed the leader. How about Clifford, man? Win Racing Chevrolet. There's the CLICKIT RV number 23 for Toby Ritters, and got a good run going for him right now in second. Dennis Moore, the Hot Wheels machine, of course, sitting there in that number 3 spot. Now I know it's CLICKIT RV, but I mean it's a throwback to the Hot Wheels colors. I love that. I love it.
With the paint scheme, a crossover from the Darlington race last week, specifically as we take the 1 to green. I'm still keeping an eye though on how this is going to play up for some. I will say this. Stephen O'Hare, a new look for his truck tonight. The 41 looking with a different cause on their truck, believe this evening. We'll see how they play out tonight. You see that black and brownish truck.
Well, that's going to wrap up our first caution. The lights are off on the safety vehicle, and the safety car will come to the pit lane here. Next time around, we'll get ready for the restart. It'll be lap number 7 of 160 laps. Obviously, the distance. Still got a long way to go here in this event. 160 miles, 160 laps here. Field gets ready to work their way into turn number 3 and 4. There's that sharp entrance onto the pit lane for even the pace car. Working back to the Geico restart zone right now. Green flag in the air. Boy, oh boy, Justin, Dan West Jr., a big restart over everybody going to turn 1.
Another good launch for the 55 as Toby Ritters to second. Tyler King quickly to fourth. Frank Harris being swamped though on the top side. Devin West inside, down the back straightaway. Frank Harris slipping back into the battle for fifth position. Jeff Stubb now looks towards the inside. Now as Harris drops back.
Gotta love a good night race here, and we're going to see the same thing tonight here at Worldwide as they scamper off the corner out of turn 4. Coming back down to the line. Stubb now and Harris battle. That's going to be for 5th and 6th spot. Trying to get to Devin West for 5th and 1.
Devin West amongst those, trying to keep it as low as possible, looking to set it up out of 2 on Tyler King. Through the gears, King trying to gear shift West with a better launch. Not able to get inside quite yet. Follows line to line as they head to the braking mark through 3 and 4, looking to try the diamond line for 4.
Saving it together off the corner out of turn 4, back to the line, single file. Ledbetter can need some company from O'Hare down to the inside. Now you move up to the front back again. Ritter's in that number 2 spot. Getting some company now from Moore, King. Devin West, even though he had problems there, what a run he's got going for him now, trying to come for that 3rd spot on Dennis Moore is now King and West down into turn 3.
Still single followed out. Keep in mind though, Kevin Smith is coming in fast, up 10 spots already in 10 laps. Now able to zip his way down the front straightaway after the pass outside on O'Hare. Next up on his checklist, getting to Jaden Ledbetter. He closes 2 truck lengths on entry. Through exit, closes another half a truck length, looking to set things up for the battle for 8th.
Yeah, watch that all work on the back stretch right now as again, Kevin Smith trying to go out. Aaron Cooper's truck off the pace there. Purple Rain.
This was in the battle for 20th. Cooper going around, no caution though. That was with Ryan Bloom in his 2nd incident of the race, as well as additional help in the checkup effect. Battles are still on across the pack though, all throughout the field. That includes some of the drivers in throw-back looks still compared to some of the modern looks. James Vining, William Fletcher, 13th. Looking to square up as Vining off the bubble. Has the run down the back straightaway past the short chute of the exit of the racetrack.
Yeah, but an interesting run there for a drive off the corner. And they still somehow hold it together again. Down into across the line, back to turn 1. Look at this 4-truck battle scramble for the behind them now. King will move to 2nd. Moore now under attack by Ritters, under attack on the inside by West, 3 wide for 3rd. Or will it be as they finally break apart into turn number 3 and King is able to pull away more to the inside on Ritters.
Moore wraps the bottom. His teammate trying to get the top working, no. Not able to make the pass back as Ritters. Devin West taking advantage. Last time by down the flag stand, it was the call by Ritters to let him go. Ritters lets him go again. Toby Ritters playing the long run game. He cuts off Kevin Smith near contact with Stubb now.
Yeah, nice little save there, and they still hold it together down on the back stretch. Dan West Jr., Tyler King. Look at now Smith and Ritters. Kevin Smith coming quickly to the front, up 14 spots. Remember what we talked about during the driver lineup, if you will, Justin. If you want to get the problems that they had, Kevin Smith and Ryan Gormley had no choice but to climb quickly through the field, and they're taking advantage of that.
Gormley much better in race trim compared to his qualifying trim. It's been like night and day, or rather lighter nighttime and much darker nighttime at this point. Amongst those still trying to battle it out for 8th though, Ledbetter trying to hold up Frank Harris. Harris wanting the spots back, taking a peek. Not able to get towards the quarter panel yet though. Caution flag is out down the back stretch. It's Aaron Cooper yet again.
Yellow flag out for the 2nd time here at Worldwide Technology Raceway and Gateway. Again for Aaron Cooper. Justin, you saw it happen on the back straightaway.
I am not sure what I just saw. They were wrecking for last. There's no other way to put it. It was literally for 2nd to last and last on the track. Chris Camary is all over the place. And then it gets weird. Camary ends up hitting the wall. Aaron Cooper hooks a right, squeezes him in the wall, and that turns him around, and that's the trigger off Camary's truck. I don't know what either of them were doing.
Yeah, it looks like Cooper turned in. It looked like Aaron Cooper turned into the right. He turned right and just got into the driver there. Oh my goodness, man! Wow.
That makes zero sense. Pit stops, by the way. Gormley, Ritters, Moore, Lowther, and Tidrick, the only drivers pitting, and that could be interesting. And that leads into tire sets tonight. 160 laps on the docket, but only 3 tire sets. Lots of gambles being played by some of these drivers right now if you're pitting this early.
Well, Dan West Jr. is the man that's leading now. Tyler King. We saw the strength the 21 had once he cleared by Devin West, Kevin Smith, all these drivers now. And by the way, Ritter's falling back, and we're seeing drivers pitting early. What do you think about that, Justin?
I think if you're able to make the tires work out, it's a really strong call. Downside is Ryan Gormley's picked up a speeding penalty appears on the pit exit, so he'll have to drop to the very, very back. So I think if you have it go green, if you go green the whole way, you can take advantage. One downside, though, guess who's had another technical issue? And guess which one it is who's had it every season, every single possible moment, it seems, up front this year, Kevin Smith.
Wow. My goodness. Kevin Smith was all the way up 15 spots to at least the top 3. What heartbreak.
I'm going to be quite frank. When is the point where you switch internet companies? That's the only way I can describe that.
Well, we'll try this again. Dan West Jr., Tyler King on the front row. Devin West, Jaden Ledbetter will now be on row number 2. Jeff Stabnow, Stephen O'Hare, row 3. Frank Harris, James Vining, row 4. Chris White, John Ottenbacher, right now. Your top 10. 26 drivers took the green flag. And it'll be just 20, coming up on 20 laps into this. Still a long way to go here tonight at Worldwide Technology. Green flag back out in the air. Here you go for the restart. And the Geico restart zone powering away again for another great start is Dan West Jr. Sunwest on the bottom. King on the outside. Ledbetter in that mix as well as they work off 2.
They're getting a touch tight. The battle is on, though, for 5th. A squeeze. Jeff Stabnow, Stephen O'Hare. O'Hare with the better run outside. Stabnow preferred line inside through 3. Squeeze down from O'Hare. Stabnow wraps the bottom. The red and black truck nearly clear for 5th.
Back across the line. Stabnow to the inside. O'Hare right there. Is going on for 5th. They work off 2. We're closing in on 20 in.
Right now looking stable is Stabnow. Lots of big movers with all these strategies. Stabnow looking to try and make his way forward on the raw pace. Now reaching towards Ledbetter. Still work forward. I will say this, in the back half of the field, it is looking like an ice rink for some. Ron Hunter, several others where many of the Airfresh tires are, have nearly spun it around at least 2 times in 2 corner complexes.
The leader is Dan West Jr. Look, Tidrick now. Tidrick, Fletcher. Boy, you got racing everywhere. Charles is trying to pick a battle. Wrightsman trying to get back through the field again after his mishap on the start. Going after Ron Hunter. This is for 15th.
Wrightsman elected to take the faster pair after originally feeling out the damage. Able to make the pass on Hunter. That's for 15th position. Of note, Chris Camary's had to pull into the garage area. Gormley serving a 30-second penalty under green flag conditions. As a result of that black flag situation, Brightsman's in the wall.
Ron Hunter just bonsai'd the 46 of Sean Brightsman into the corner. Now Sean Brightsman now in reverse in front of the pack. He finally comes to a stop. And all that momentum Sean Brightsman had gone. Watch this replay for our third caution of the race. What again, Justin, Mike? Did Hunter get a little upset? That's the question. Watch him.
I don't think it's upset.
Going down into one.
Hunter just maced his braking mark. This is exactly what I seen the last previous corners. Hunter was newly spinning it out on the entries. He just missed the braking zone.
I wouldn't per se say that that was intentional now looking at it, but when it happened really quickly, wow. For sure, it looked like he just bonsai'd in there and hit him, but as you said, braking zones. By the way, if you're keeping count, caution number 3 on our Virginia811.com caution information ticker. 3 cautions, 7 laps out of 22. No lead changes yet. It's been all Dan West Jr. from the pole.
Dan West Jr. technically from outside front row, remember.
That's right. Yeah, from the outside. As it stands right now, it's oh man. Couple of cautions. Exciting racing. I think I'd be hard pressed to say, Justin, they're being a little too aggressive too early on. Ryan Gormley going to take the wave around. Or the free pass, if you will, actually.
Yeah, time of the caution really helped Gormley after the black flag situation and having to stop essentially during that set sequence for 30 seconds. But so far, this does not seem to be an easy night. This is not an easy racetrack because of what we've seen with all these attrition points so far. We've seen how crazy it can get here in the real world action when it comes to Worldwide Technology Raceway for this specific reason. It seems to be also a track, mind you, where weird things can happen. Remember, just about a year or two ago, there was that that blackout that happened because of a transformer issue around the racetrack in the real world race.
Oh yeah, and who will ever forget the Bain, obviously in the news because of what he did at Darlington yesterday with Kyle Larson, but Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin and what happened between them last year also at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And the NASCAR 3 Series will be here in a couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, just after the Coca-Cola 600 in 2 weeks. I got the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro this week, and then the 600 Memorial Day, and then following that, back to Worldwide Technology first weekend of June. So getting ahead of the game for our guys here. Usually try to sometimes mimic the real schedule, and now we're definitely putting on a good show here. Couple of cautions. All Dan West Jr., Tyler King now showing his momentum. And I'll be honest, Justin, Tyler King, it's been a dismal season for the defending Northwest Truck Series champion. He's only got 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s out of 10 races, no wins, and this is probably one of the best runs he's got in the race so far right now.
Yeah, just 2 DNFs so far in the season. He's led a majority of the races. It's just been, again, having the speed of the end. He's tried different strategies I've noticed throughout the season to get the lead laps. He's had decent pace at some of the racetracks, but it hasn't been winning pace. And I think that's a huge, huge part of things where it's so setup dependent with if you want to be quick here too, or quick in general. And it seems where it's more so throughout some of these races, it's been difficult to maintain that. He's been good in some of the draft tracks and the dirt tracks, for example, but where it's been setup dependent per se, that's where he's seen the drop back towards the edge of the top 10 much of the season.
Let's set up the lineup for you again. The top 10, lights off on the safety car. Dan West Jr., Tyler King, row number 1. Devin West, Jaden Ledbetter make up row number 2. Row 3 will find Jeff Stabnow and Stephen O'Hare. Frank Harris and Christopher White right there in row 4. Row 5, John Onnenbacher. And the Catman, James Vining, with a solid top 10 drive right now. As that'll wrap up our third caution here of the night. Closing in on 25 laps in. Field will work their way back to the Geico restart zone out of turn 4. At Worldwide Technology Raceway, inside father-son. Restart. West gets it good again on another jump over the field as they sell her off into 1.
Already some big checkups in the heart of that grouping. Side by side up at the front of the pack. O'Hare side by side with Stabnow off the 2. O'Hare zips by Stabnow back up to 5th. Meanwhile, for 2nd, Devin West trying to pull back Tyler Kane. Kane better run. Looking to clear, nearly launches himself to the 3rd group, trying to hold on to it.
Working their way again off the corner out of turn number 4, back to the inside of the racetrack. It's Dan West Jr., the leader. Tyler King now under attack by Devin West, his son. They all go at it 3 wide. Almost sprinters on the bottom. Clears him, and he goes 3 wide after Smith and Tendrick again in the corner.
Oh, in trouble. Turn 2, BJ Tendrick, Kevin Smith stack up. Under caution as BJ Tendrick is up and under and over in the 72 in turn 2.
Oh, man, Tendrick involved in an accident where he's actually going to be upside down. 4th caution of the night. Here is your replay. Justin, we saw the skirmish and it all got out of hand. Here's the look of the replay.
Yeah, everything got stacked up with Lowther. Had some troubles in the entry of turn 3. A lot of drivers missing the mark or having some help missing the mark. But then you have Kevin Smith, who had the technical issue, just returned to the race during the caution. Slides a little bit and up the track at the worst possible time. And it just is absolutely terrible for Tendrick because he really got some speed boost from Chris Cameri.
Not a tough break there for, again, the driver of Tendrick. 2 Northwest wins in the Cup Series in 2020, by the way. Las Vegas as well as at Darlington. We'll never forget that night. Remember that, Justin? You and Greg Rentz were on the play-by-play in the color, and I was on pit road. And remember that? That was the night that the servers crashed on iRacing, and we had about a 45-50 minute, if you call, rain delay.
Yeah, red flag situation that time, and it really played right into Tendrick's hands that night because of where the issues happened in terms of the pit cycle. They only left a few drivers essentially in the lead lap by the time things went rolling, if I remember right, in terms of that. And Tendrick was one of the few drivers left with the clean race car. It went basically the perfect way for Tendrick to try and come away with that victory that night. And he had a solid car much of the night in the first place, remember.
Yeah, he certainly did. And since then, he's kind of been on a downward slump, if you will, just trying to put himself in contention and trying to find a way to get back with solid top 5s or even top 10 finishes. Right now this year so far for Tendrick, he is right now 24th in the points with 1 top 10 finish. That's it in his 9th start tonight. 165 back to the points leader. We'll pause for 10 seconds of radio identification of the Community Radio Network for the Worldwide Technology Raceway and Gateway coverage of the Northwest Truck Series. Presented by CLICKIT RV. Our coverage on CRN now sponsored proudly by Wiles Agency Group Incorporated and the Stock Car Racing Team Game.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Welcome back to Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway, just outside of St. Louis. I'm Wesley Outland on the iRacing servers. For those that are joining us, round 10 tonight. The Northwest Truck Series presented by CLICKIT RV. Justin Prince is alongside. Charles Wooten is in our Northwest Rocket Racing Media CLICKIT RV production booth in Texas. And studio punching the buttons. And make no bones about it, Justin, as we settle for a restart coming up in the next lap or so. The opening 30 laps for Charles has been very eventful, getting a lot of excitement on the track.
Yeah, we'll see how things play out as the night progresses. This is a track where attrition seems to find a way to prop up a lot, despite the fact you normally wouldn't expect it per se. It's been an intriguing night so far when it comes to these drivers, keep in mind. The one thing I find intriguing technically when looking into things here, they characterize New Hampshire more in 1 and 2, which I find intriguing with the banking utilized there. It's more so a Phoenix Raceway knot when you look at 3 and 4 with how it's shaped as some of the descriptions that was described at the time of this racetrack's configuration in the 1990s.
Well, we'll get ready to settle them up for the restart here as, again, lap number 31 on the board. Lap 32, when they come back to the green, it is Dan West Jr. and Devin West, father, son. Justin, I got to say this, man. I know it's round 10 of the year, but is it just me, or does it seem like we are really seeing a resurgence of domination by the West family? Not just Devin, but the two-time Truck Series champion of Dan West Jr. also.
I think it's more just them catching up in regards to that side of the garage in the West family racing machines. Because when racing started off lightning fast, looking like pro-caliber trucks in some cases, then you have Dan West Jr. with that experience coming in, finding a way to close the gap as they take the green way early.
And back underway, they fire out of the Geico restart zone. And the restart back to 1. King will shift right in front of Ledbetter and take that third spot in front of the West family, 1 and 2. They work their way off the back straightaway. Ottenbacher stabbed out. All those drivers under attack, going at it now for that spot into turn 3.
Munsto's on the dive. Chris White squeezed by Bloom. Ottenbacher tries to slam the door through turn 4. Chris White keeps it open. Chris White keeps the crowbar out, trying to keep it side by side. Now 2 by 2 nearly down the front.
Diamond off into the corner. Look at now, close to 3 wide. He thought about going 3 wide, made 4 wide on the Bacher. Now they will go 3 wide off the exit of the corner. In the middle, Bloom. Ottenbacher outside, inside White. Here comes now Dennis Moore trying to fight and claw for that spot. He'll spin them 3 wide as they work also into turn number 3 and 4.
Moore looking to squeeze forward on the fresh tires and clearing himself across Ottenbacher. Wow. Spinning down the front straightaway as Moore slides it down the track. Caution is out. Troy Daggett now joins in on the crash. Ottenbacher slammed into a second time by the 99.
You literally knew that that was about to break apart. Chain reaction coming off of that corner. They were trying to go 3 and 4 wide, 3 wide. Look at this down the back stretch one more time. This is where it all got started. Ryan Bloom cleared. Dennis Moore did not. He got the short end of the stick in the middle. He was, if you will, the monkey in the middle. And that's the end result, Justin, of what just happened out of the 4th turn.
Yeah, I was probably expecting some give. Instead, there was a lot of take there. Gormley picking up contact. Troy Daggett having issues checking up for the incident. Slamming it on Ottenbacher not once, but twice there for good measure. And there were so many drivers stacking up there that drivers like Lowther and a couple others had to just say, okay, I'm coming to a dead stop just to avoid whatever is happening here.
Uh, 35 laps. Do you pit? The answer is no. I thought they were. Psych.
I mean, let me ask you this. What's the longest run of the race so far, do you think?
Maybe 4 laps, 3 laps.
Ding, ding, ding. There's your answer on why no one's taking tires yet. Why would you use a set if we've gone a combined total, if I'm looking at the calculations right here, of about 10 green flag laps at speed?
Wow. This will give us another chance to promote our buddy Brian Morehouse in Virginia 811. Caution summary, there it is. Look at that. In less than 40 laps, 5 cautions, 17 caution laps. No lead changes again. Been all Dan West Jr. since the drop of the green, and nobody coming down the pit lane yet.
Track position so critical. We've already seen the drivers who have elected to pit for tires, mind you, get collected in a couple of crashes. That is more the perfect example of that. So now a lot of those competitors who chose to come into pits, guess what? None of them have survived the trouble, except for maybe Toby Ritter's on a 2-tire call. That's it.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, that's it. Hey, by the way, don't forget Wednesday. We've got the next round of the qualifier dirt series, and then of course we've also got the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. That'll be, of course, right back here at Worldwide Wednesday night. Thursday night, we're back on the dirt. The Northwest Super Late Model Dirt Series. Obviously, by the way, that's gone to a bi-weekly series now. Whenever the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying series is racing on Thursday night, Northwest Dirt is off, and then vice versa. So that'll be coming up. And Justin, I know I was in the parking lot at Darlington Raceway, or Buc-ee's, after Darlington last Sunday or last night, but man, what a phenomenal World of Thunder Truck Series race we had at Vegas. Impressed with the turnout, close to 40 plus, and hopefully that momentum will continue to go forward instead of backwards to get people to support the World of Thunder Esports League.
I'm very curious how it all plays out when it comes to the drivers. Jordan Haynes was the best by far in the long run, I will say. Mulgar once again right there in terms of competitiveness, so it's intriguing how it's all gone when it comes to these respective drivers. Now I'm curious though when it comes to tonight. When are these drivers going to settle down, and when will they break out of the bad case of the Mondays? No, seriously, Tyler King just asked on the radio, what's the deal with Mondays?
It's another manic Monday, if you will.
I'm not sure what to say on that, but so far it's a West Family Racing 1-2 Monday. So at least things are going well in that household.
Field to get ready to come back to the Geico restart zone next time around. It'll be lap number 39 of 160, so we'll at least be 1/4 of the way through. 40 in of 120 remaining, 40 to halfway. 160 laps the distance, and we're 40 laps in, Justin, and it's already solid darkness around this track because of so many caution flags we've had in the opening 40 laps.
Yeah, this has been a cautions type of night. I wouldn't be surprised if this trend continues the way things are shaping up here. We'll see.
Back underway, green flag. And Dan West Jr., as he's done all night long, with another flawless restart over Sun Devon, Tyler King, Jaden Ledbetter on the outside, Stephen O'Hare in 41. They all work their way now. All back straight away, out of 2.
Side by side again, Ledbetter outside, Kane inside. Kane trying to hold on, some contact behind O'Hare, nearly getting pushed for by Stab. Now they hold on to it as Tyler Kane moves himself to 3rd off of 4.
Across the line, 40 laps now into the race when they close in on the corner now. Into 2 now, O'Hare inside of Ledbetter. Stab now watching intently. So is also Ryan Bloom. And we got another caution.
It's Chris Kynes down the backstretch, the second to last driver of the lead lap in the 20. We're under caution again, and Ottenbacher again in the vicinity. We'll see how this factored in.
Yeah, it's the second time I've seen Chris Kynes in racing action tonight. Here's a look at what happened to the 20.
Just looped himself?
Yeah, just lost it for the team. Realtree, number 20 there. No harm, no foul. If anything, flat spots your tires, but I don't think that really happens virtually very much. Do you pit now with a quarter of the way in now, Justin?
Still no. If we're at the 80 laps in mark, I think drivers might be more willing to pit for the gas. But not so much right now. It is worth noting Ron Hunter somehow picked up a black flag just before that caution flag. So we'll have to serve a black flag, believe under green flag conditions in the 30 truck 4 laps down.
Well, nobody pitting yet except drivers in the back that have been caught up in accidents, if you will. And it has been Dan West Jr. leading the way. Sean Brightsman, Chris Kynes, Dan Lowther now all pitting. By the way, we have now 21 trucks. The 25 on the lead lap. Kevin Smith will take the wave around, if you will. I'll give him one of his laps back. Trying to get back in the game, Justin. Take advantage of those cautions and go for the waiver rounds.
At this point, that's the best you can do right now. If anything, this is absolutely helping Kevin Smith. He just has to stay out of the crashes at this point, avoiding contact. The way things are going, Kevin Smith might actually still have a shot at winning this race. And he's still 3 laps down, which says a lot.
I got an idea, and I think we've seen this happen at other tracks and events in the past as well. It's trimming the fat, thinning of the herd, if you will, Justin. I think we're going to weed out the trouble spots or the drivers that are having problems. And then we're going to start to see these drivers then really get to it and be competitive and race hard. And have that green flag run of the race, I believe.
Yeah, it's the tough part, right, of getting there to that long run. Because once we get past 10 laps or so, once things start separating out, I agree. I think that's where you see the long runs. The problem is everyone's just stepping on each other, and drivers are struggling so much on the short run right now that it's that difficult barrier to break. And you really say to yourself, something has to give in terms of that. As did Stefan O'Hare just stop on the racetrack?
Let's check out 41.
I think the 41 gassed it up past everybody and is stopped on the front straightaway.
Yeah.
I really hope this is not what I think it is, because it's probably a restroom break. The only time you usually see this happen, someone needs to go to the bathroom, floors it so they don't get a black flag, stops where they need to stop, and then we'll catch up to the queue. This might actually cause a delayed restart here if O'Hare doesn't get in this cockpit right now.
Like right now or right now?
We're at 1 to go. I mean, like right now. He could give half the field a black flag here once they get the green.
Oh, wow. And the 1 to go indication has been given.
Correct, yeah. Somebody better tell him they're 1 to green. I think he's back in the cockpit.
He's rolling.
They might have to delay the green here. They might have to delay the green, or else half the field will be black flagged.
Now, why is that for, though? Like, why?
They all technically passed him on the track. Technically, it's passing before the restart, or passing under yellow.
But he passed them and then stopped.
It has already been confirmed race control will clear all the black flags. O'Hare electing to sacrifice all his track position to go to the bathroom, and oh my goodness!
We're back to green. We are back to green. O'Hare was what, in the top 10, I think? He just took it all the way.
To emphasize the point from Tara King, what's the deal with Mondays? It's been a wacky one as Ledbetter holds off the grouping for third on back. Stab now looking for a way to charge on the 21, peeks to the inside groove. King half a lane up, slams the door on Stab now. Ryan Bloom's damaged truck looking to build the run now as well.
So Stephen O'Hare back on track. 21 trucks on the lead lap now. And O'Hare climbing through the field now, the 20th, but he was in the top 5 when he made that move, and going for a pit stop cost him dear position, but again, no penalty. Yep, there's a caution now. Yellow flag.
And it's another incident for Tidrick. It's another incident for Daggett. Somehow the 72 is still running after being upside down. But either way, not been a pretty night. Tidrick has James Vining try and make the move. Looks the normal right. This is about a lap ahead of how things broke out, mind you. And then it ends up becoming absolutely wild. Door-to-door contact nearly to the corner. Tidrick doors himself down. And then nowhere for Daggett to go as he gets squeezed between the two trucks who crash.
All 3 trucks spinning in unison, if you will. Wow. That's rather interesting. Pirouetting. We're all in this together.
I mean, at this point, whoever keeps it on the racetrack, the cleanest truck at this point, has the best shot at winning, and Dan West Jr. seems to be in the best position with Devin. Ledbetter the same case. Here's the interesting plane starting to come in now with the field conversation. Tyra King, Chris White, Frank Harris, Sean Breisman, Stephen O'Hare, all coming in this time by. All but one of those coming in for their first pit stop of the race here as a result of this caution flag. Price by being in the attrition. Now, it gets more difficult, though, at this point, because you have drivers like Dennis Moore, who have fresher tires but significant damage. You have John Annenbacher on a bit fresher tires right now. You have the very fresh tires back in 15th. Once again, it's almost like what we've seen in Darlington, where everybody steps on each other, and it ends up causing stack-ups.
Man, I got a question to think here. Could the time limit be in effect here with this race and so many cautions, Justin?
There's an hour and 35 minutes. There's an hour and 35 minutes in the sim. I'm looking at the clock right now that the sim is currently projecting. If we keep having the cautions, absolutely. If I remember right, this is a track where we come close, if not reach that border at least once in Northwest competition in recent years in the LSRTV era. So it's not out of the question, is what I'm saying, with how things have broken out here in the past.
So you're saying sim time remaining is 95 minutes. So they basically had like a 2-hour time limit, basically.
Well, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Okay.
So if you round it down, it goes to 2.
We're going on an hour being on the air now. Yeah, we're going on an hour being on the air now. All right, nobody's pitting yet. Closing in on lap number 50 when they come to the line. And we should get the lights off on the pace car this time by. We will. 1 to go. I've said it and I'll say it again, Justin. This year, just the West family in the last 6 or 7 races, we've just seen their genius up here. Let's check in real quickly with our producer / pit reporter for updates and news. Charles Wooten, what do you got before we go back to Green?
Well, I talked to multiple teams, multiple drivers, and asked them, how their trucks were handling, what their thoughts on, what changes they might need to make. and they all basically laughed at me and said, we haven't got more than 2 green laps, so I don't know. We'll get back with you later.
I mean...
Well, thanks for that on-the-spot report there, Charles.
I mean, they're right. They're right. What do you change? What do you change?
I'm wondering if they're going to have another driver's meeting at halfway. Back to green, lap 51 at Worldwide Gateway. Just say Gateway.
Ryan Bloom with the charge into turn 1 inside the step now. Blinky for Devin West does not matter, holding on to second. Bloom trying to hold off Gormley. Twinsies on the damage, looking to zip it down the back straightaway up to turn 3 for the battle for 5th. Step now inside for 3rd.
Yeah, are we saying that some of these guys are getting some Lincoln nod? All this going on now as the leaders work off turn number 4. 110 less laps remaining in the race, closing in on lap 60. All the while, Dan West Jr., Devin West, Ledbetter. What a run for Ledbetter, Justin. In 3rd, Stabnow Bloom, they battle for 4th and 5th off 2.
And a surprise from the super friend from last campaign. Stabnow holding off Bloom. Bloom trying to fight his damaged truck, trying to show some speed. Nearly to the inside, Stabnow slams the door.
Yeah, they'll work off that corner, single file off of turn number 4. Dan West Jr., Devin West, Ledbetter, 1, 2, and 3, single file. Stabnow and Bloom, top 5, single file around the racetrack. Gormley will follow. All this happening now as they work the back straightaway, and it's a conga line.
Now this might spark a long run with how things are playing out. How long that lasts, we'll see. Stabnow holding up Bloom. Yeah, I'm just saying, inside of the back grouping is where things can get dicey. Amongst those getting dicey, Chris White trying to build the run to the front stretch. Kynes trying to get the block capped.
Justin, this is the only thing that I find here. We're seeing it finally, single file racing, if you will. The conductor is Dan West Jr., the caboose in the back is Kevin Smith, multiple laps down. Of course, some other drivers either wrecked or behind the wall. But the problem is this, though. We're also going to start seeing green flag pit stops because they're going to have to pit here anytime soon.
By the way, just as you finish that point, it's worth noting Ron Hunter slammed the wall and blew a motor. He's stopping it, crashing 1. Ryan Gormley is turned by Dennis Moore. Brightsman slammed into. They all wreck in the back. Tyra Kane, Frank Harris, Troy Daggett again. So we were getting a caution from 2-3 different ways, and it just boiled over again.
Yellow flag, I believe, for the 9th time in just 55 laps. Here's a look at the replay. Justin, you saw it break loose, as you heard me say, oh my. Gormley and Dennis Moore, and maybe a little aggressive here. Wow. Oh no.
That was a little bit of frustration, possibly. Gormley, even worse though, comes down the track in front of 4 different trucks, 3 of which have already been in incidents with faster pairs. Unbelievable, to say the very least. Once again, that all sparked really with the contact down the middle of the straightaway. And now it looks like it's pit time.
Except just, well, yeah, well, the West family's in. Dennis Moore's coming in 6th. Yeah, 8.
Oh, this is not good, though.
I was one ahead of myself.
Hold on. Dan West Jr.'s passed the pace car. Dan West Jr. has black flagged himself. He passed the pace car at the commitment cone.
Oh, no. How can it be he's committed to pit, though?
He passed the pace car at the commitment cone. It's like that at this track especially. He boosted. If we can get the chance to glance back, he tried to gas it up and get a bit of a cushion with everyone catching up to the pace car. The thing is, at this track, it's the same like Homestead Miami Speedway when they used to use the access road. You end up using the access road, shortcutting the corner, if you pass the pace car, you pass under yellow. So here it is again. He's already passed the pace car by this point. Look at the difference. This is already by 1 car length at least. He doesn't realize his mistake until he's right just about at the cone and trying to slow it down a touch bit. By that point, he's still ahead of the pace car by about half a car length.
And because of this, he gets a black flag. He'll go to the tail, right?
Correct.
Wow. Man, what a heartbreak for Dan West Jr. And his son now will be the man that leads the way. Charles, can we go to break? Oh, we'll go. Let's see if we're going to stay under caution here. I think we will. Find out. Yes, we are. Side by side. We're back from Worldwide Gateway. You know where we're at. Back in a moment.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Worldwide Technology Raceway after another dang commercial break and 8 cautions. And oh my, Justin, we still got 100 laps to go. We're not done yet. We're not done.
Well, what can you say? Things get wild from Gateway sometimes. Green, green, green. Devin West looking to keep it up at the front, only he and Jaden Ledbetter yet to pit. A terrible start for Ryan Bloom through the gears. Everybody checks up. Chris Kynes backs it up hard in the corner.
If you're just joining us, remember Dan West Jr. leading on the pit lane past the pace car, and because of that was given an EOL penalty to the end of line, longest line. He's at the tail of the field now, but not for long though. He's already cracked into the top 15, top 18 now. He's working on those spots as all this works on with the pack finally working clean and green out of turn 4.
Near scraping and shoving. By the way, Dan West Jr., because of that passing the pace car during the pit sequence, also has a green flag penalty to serve. So Dan West Jr. now losing the lap. Meanwhile, contact, Lauder out of 2. Frank carries into the corner panel.
The Oregon Duck yelling quack, quack, quack after the Hot Wheels machine. Pulls alongside Stab now after the 44. Yeah, and by the way, Dan West Jr. on pit road again, Justin.
That's the black flag from the passing under yellow. So now the drivers look to pass around the track under green. Lauder's gray and white truck way up outside, misses the group, jumps the cushion nearly. Now 3 wide as Dennis Moore cuts underneath William Fletcher. Frank Harris jumps the outside of Fletcher and Moore. Moore still trying to pass by somebody into 3.
Justin, I got to ask you, can Dan West Jr. get back in this race now, just 1 lap down?
Kevin Smith's still in a better spot right now if he avoids what's happening in front of him in the next 10 seconds.
Yeah, there's a craziness going on for sure. Gormley and Harris and all this going on. Brightsman now up in the battle. Be nice, be nice. Johnson right behind them. That's a teammate to Harris, or to Brightsman, I mean. By the way, Fletcher under 100 laps to go.
Derek Kane, meanwhile, Monster slipping by a really loose Chris Kynes. Kynes nearly jumped into the wall. Kynes trying to hold on to it on the outside, Lowther inside. Now looking to battle for the 10th position. And Lowther's light job through 1, completes the pass. Kynes trying something out of 2. Has the better run, but can't get the grip. Here comes Jeff Stab now to the outside.
That's Kynes on the bottom, battling with Stabnow and Lowther. Gormley now also in this dogfight. This is for the top 15. Going at it. 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th on racetrack back across the line.
Jeff Stab now amongst those, keep in mind, who is on some of the freshest tires. Our longest green flag of the race currently. 5 laps. Stab now just avoids the kiss to the wall to the 11th spot. Meanwhile, Kynes now trying to race with Kevin Smith. Keep in mind, the 00 needs to keep it clean. He is in the lucky dog spot.
Understanding that Dan West Jr., though 1 lap down, Justin just ran the fastest lap of the race. He just lit up the purple on the box. 33.80. Wow.
That's called having something to prove. Wanting a chance to be able to get back on the lead lap later on. He needs a lot to go his way. A couple cautions possibly. We'll have to keep an eye on how things play out. Speaking of how things are playing out, Chris Kynes still under attack. He slid around a few times. 13th spot. Frank Harris checked up. Brightsman zips to the bottom. Brightsman moves to 13th. Kynes now looking to hold on to 14th down the front stretch.
Harris and Kynes now battling for that spot. This is for 14th and 15th, as Justin mentioned. Right now, here you go, trying to run down Brightsman. And sideways, Kynes was dirt tracking it off too. What a save in the 20.
It's been a concern much of the night. Frank Harris amongst those. Still looking to make moves. Brett Johnson looking for the crossover. One of the LSRTV trucks, the 7 machine. Looking to build the run out of 4. Kynes once again struggling on corner exit. Johnson forced to check up. Harris has the better run. Harris heading off to the lights. Backs up. Kynes nearly launches it to the moon.
Johnson on the inside. Look at Bloom now. Bloom and Ledbetter battling. This is for 2nd and 3rd. Side by side, White trying to get back in this mix as they work to the line on lap number 70 next time by.
10 laps away from halfway, next time by the stripe. Bloom with the wiggle through turn 1. Ledbetter keeping it below the first seam. It's been working for some tonight. Not a great run for Ledbetter out of 2. Chris White looking to maybe think outside. Instead, lets Ledbetter have some space. He looks to get single file and does. Chris White gives him the spot to get back in line.
And my goodness, a lot of cautions here in the first half of this race. And gotta wonder if things might simmer down, or is it just gonna amplify? No doubt about it, as right now these drivers work their way back off into the corner into 1 and 2. This is White now after Ledbetter. This is for the podium for 3rd. They go at it again off of turn 2 side by side.
With all the hecticness right now, Chris White is secretly and quietly having one of his best races of this entire campaign by this mark now. 12th in the point standings entering the night. Has only finished in the top 10 twice. Last time by, though, at Dover. Keep in mind, when it comes to higher tire degradation racetracks, which can go green sometimes, Chris White has the speed.
Yeah, less than 10 laps away to the halfway mark as White works his way back up the racetrack. He tries to reel back in on Ledbetter. Ledbetter now single file. He'll lead that charge now. Single file with White behind. Aldenbacher also back in that mix after the problems he had. And there's Ritters now trying to run down Ryan Gormley to crack the top 10. All of this going on with Lowther and Brightsman battling side by side out of turn number 4.
And Ritter's not in a great situation. Keep in mind, 2 right side tires taken last time he pit, or 7.3 seconds in the box. That was 48 laps ago. Some of the oldest tires on the track right now for Ritters. Brightsman amongst those on some of the freshest tires. Despite the damage, the 46 looking to get in the draft and reel things forward, heading off to turn 3.
Working off the turn out of 3 and 4 now. Ritters put him still in 11th, trying to get after Gormley. Stab now up in front of them. All this now going on for the battle for second, or third, fourth, and fifth. Look at this big battle of trucks organized, single file down into turn number 3. Ledbetter will lead this battle into the corner.
And this is where it gets intriguing because Ledbetter's on very old tires. Chris White, fresh tires. Audenbacher, little older tires. O'Hare, fresh tires. The freshest for Morricane and Stab now in this grouping. Through 1, Audenbacher launches it like a rocket to the third groove. Out of turn 2, White slips, slides, bobbles in front of Audenbacher near contact with O'Hare.
What a save by White. What a save and some piece of driving work by O'Hare and Audenbacher. That could have been calamity for everyone involved. Somehow, some way, they negotiate perfectly off the corner and will stay green.
O'Hare skates on by out of 4. Now 3 wide as the battle is on between the freshies. Kane looking inside of Audenbacher. Dennis Moore contact on the side of White. Slides down to Kane. Moore loops it in front of the field. Into the grass goes Jeff Stab now. Moore locks it up and stops it in the track as the caution is out.
Caution will fly, I believe, for the 11th time. Here is a look at your replay of what happened here. Oh my. Bonsai off of the machine of Audenbacher. Off of the 21 and King. Nowhere for Dennis Moore to go. Caution out again.
Kind of see that coming. There was a little error.
9.
Yeah.
It feels like 11. Holy cow, it feels like 11. 9 total cautions. 31 caution laps out of 76 right now. And 1 lead change. That has been it. Listen, we're close to halfway. Let's join you now back inside the broadcast booth for what will be the LSRTV mid-race update. At first, pit stops are ongoing as Devin West, Ryan Bloom, Jaden Ledbetter, all of these drivers, and by the way, Son West, Justin, making sure that he doesn't make the mistake that Daddy West did, passing the pace car before coming onto the pit lane to flawlessly do that. And I think I'll say it again. Your take a gateway so far at halfway.
Well, first things first, Toby Ritters just picked up a speeding penalty, so that should say a lot what's going on here tonight. But second thing second, I've seen this happen a lot when it comes to Worldwide Technology Raceway and official racing. It's happened again here. Turn 2 just continuously finds victims, 1 and 2. It's just the nature of this racetrack, and a lot of people struggle here for a reason.
I'll be honest with you, Justin. It reminds me of turn 2 at Darlington yesterday in the Goodyear 400. You saw where all that crazy accidents and wrecks happened. It all happened off turn 2. And you got to remember something here. And we use the analogy of New Hampshire. We use the analogy also of Will Darlington. The way you transition into arcing, diamonding in the corner into 1 and 2 here at Gateway is totally different than the way you go into 3 and 4, just like the way you run Darlington, just like the way the banking is at New Hampshire. We're seeing that here tonight. in this virtual Northwest affair.
And I think it's not a surprise to see some of the drivers towards the front we've seen tonight, like Devin West, in turn, when thinking about that, be up at the front because of some of the sets keeping it clean. Again, it's become a battle of, are you able to avoid contact, it seems. And again, Devin West is one of the best in that situation right now, so I'm not sure what to really say on that, Mark, with how things have broken out. By the way, bad news, another technical gremlin, this time for Brett Johnson, who was up to third after the pit stops.
Number 7 there with a technical problem. Okay. All right, so what the slate clean? Do we finally have a solid, good green flag run in this race? It seems like every time we start to think that, Justin, the wheels come unturned here.
I mean, if we manage to do that with 17 drivers in the lead lap, where we keep them in cautious precautions, I think we'll end up running out of trucks. So, in other words, I think we might eventually get a run of like 30, 40 laps. Who knows, it might be around the corner with how things have broken out and how many drivers have used the faster pair running.
And what do you know, a driver that had problems earlier in the race, Jeff Stabnow, is now your new leader. Frank Harris is second. I don't really know who to pick to win this thing tonight here at Gateway, Justin. I really don't.
That's the stunning thing with the tire strategies here right now. 2 of these drivers you just mentioned, Stabnow and Moore, were just in the last accident. So now, you're talking because the tire stints and how many they have used. Stabnow just 1 tire set, Harris a couple, Dennis Moore's had to come down several times. They're kind of stuck here. They have no choice but to try and see if they can hold it out on a 15-20 lap difference.
Before we get ready to go back for the restart, Charles Wooten, we'll check into you on the pit lane. Is the vibes still, we really don't know what we got right now, or do they kind of got an idea of where we're at now here at halfway?
First off, I'm eating ice cream. You shouldn't bring it to me in. Second of all, I talked to Jeff, and I said, are we going to get the win? And he said, nah, we ain't going to be here long.
I mean, at least he's honest. I mean, I'm serious.
LSRTV. Get Rick's report. Oh, wow.
No offense. It's no offense to Stabnow. I mean, he's not going to stay up here in the lead for more than 5 laps on the older tires here.
At least he's honest, right? This is what happens when you bring a knife to a gunfight, in the equivalent, if you will. As we go back to green, Stabnow all used up on his tires. Hey, not by much, though, Justin. Holy cow, he's getting away from him. Used tires or not.
Here come the freshies, though.
Yeah, here come the freshies. Here, kitty.
Dennis Moore trying to hold it on. Down the back straightaway, Devin West, the first on the freshies through, looking to get himself up to second. Inside, and hearing some troubles for Kevin Smith after that restart. So something has happened to the Double Zero after just getting the lap back as well.
Inside, outside lane, Harris now. Bloom to the bottom. Top 5 right there into the corner. First half eventful, 9 caution flags. What will the second half entail? And look at Ritters now battling with O'Hare. Almost contact, going to 3 up the outside.
Ritters and getting shoved up the track. O'Hare with a second shove, now 3 wide. Chris White sends it up inside. Ritters trying to give the squeeze. O'Hare forced to back up. Can't find the hole. Meanwhile, up to 1 for the race lead. Devin West is there and taking it away. Stabnow back to second.
I literally uttered one word to Ritter's crash. It didn't happen. What phenomenal precision driving up on the outside lane to make it work perfectly. Now we're watching Stabnow West go after it. Bloom now. Correction, I'm sorry, Gormley. Gormley and Ritters now going after the Moore trucks as they work out of 3 and 4.
Frank Harris shuffled out from the outside. Ritters able to hold on for now inside the top 5. Gormley losing ground for the bottom side. White peeks up outside. Sends it harder off to turn 1. Gormley stays on the edge of the seam. Ledbetter zips it on through as well. A slip and a slide from Harris and a stack-up point into the wall. Ledbetter as well. They crash on the backstretch. Brightsman, Audenbacher crash in the grass. Audenbacher loops it down the track as we're under caution.
Oh, yellow flag will fly for the 10th time. Oh my, you knew it was gonna happen. There's just no give and take being given right now. It's just take. Wow, watch this.
Great save by Harris, but just nowhere to go on the stack up. And then you have Audenbacher with all of this. Fight the truck for a good bit. Hits at least one truck, and then he still hits the wall, despite all the slipping and sliding to try and hold on to it. But again, that was all with Frank Harris getting loose off the corner on older tires that really stacked up everybody.
And Brightsman, obviously, man, what a job by Sean Brightsman, having problems and still. Make no bones about it. If you're Jeff Stabnow or others, I would say come to the pits, but nobody's pitting right now, Justin. They're not pitting, I mean.
Well, Harris, Ledbetter, and Brightsman, along with White, are because, well, you can guess why with the damage on some of those tracks at this point. But it has not been a pretty one for some of these competitors. At the way things are shaping up, we might run out of time. The one thing this caution helps out in is the West family racing situation. Dan West Jr. lucky dog, this caution.
Yeah, that puts him right back on the lead lap and back in the game again. Trying for the number 55, so that puts now 18 trucks on the lead lap. Multiple trucks. Anybody else on track multiple laps down, including Brett Johnson, Troy Daggett, James Vining, Ron Hunter, all of these drivers either multiple laps down or out of the race. And man, you literally open the door, Justin, and you put Dan West Jr. right back in the game, and we know how good he's been.
Yeah, I think there's still a decent shot for Dan West Jr. The problem is passing every single truck in front, and that has been a massive problem tonight. Hence why, once again, this is almost a Devin West type of night because of the fact it's just like Darlington. First truck to cross the line with a clean, rather, the last truck standing wins. And guess what? Just about every single driver in the field except for him has made a mistake. In fact, everybody except for him has made a mistake or had contact tonight.
Yeah, definitely a crazy one for sure. Just after halfway. He is Justin Prince. I'm Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten on working on production. Thanks also to, of course, Rocket Racing Media, CLICKIT RV. This is iRacing on LSRTV and the Community Radio Network. And, man, we're not done yet. I thought maybe we'd have ourselves a decent green flag run to try to knock off some laps, get to the end. But, Justin, that's just not the case. As I said again, there's just take. There's got to be more give than take, and right now, any opportunity that people have the chance to go for it, they're going for it, and then you're not clear. You might not be clear, and then you cause a crash.
And that's happened a lot tonight. I don't know what you can really say. I will say this. We've had so many cautions. Everybody who's lost laps because of mistakes, because of technical issues, because of anything outside of Brett Johnson, back in the lead lap. Every truck left on the track is on the lead lap. We've brought that many cautions out.
Right now, there is 18 trucks on the lead lap. I hinted on that earlier whenever we announced Dan West Jr. back on the getting the free pass, if you will. Lap 88 when they come back to the Geico restart zone of 160. We still have over 50 laps to go in this one. And Justin, sim time, how much time remains now on the clock?
1 hour, 3 minutes, 38 seconds.
All right, it's going to be close. It's going to be tight. I would think they could knock out 50 some odd laps in an hour and 3 minutes. We'll find out, though. Not if they keep wrecking. Yeah, 70. I'm sorry, 70. I'm sorry, 73 laps to go. My apologies. Oh, hopefully they can still make it. We're back. We're back underway. Green flag in the air as Devin West gone outside Bloom. All these drivers in some shape or form have been involved in accidents, and they're right back up in the battle again for the lead on West. It's now Bloom on the outside out of 2.
What a recovery it's been from Bloom since a horrific opening lap and horrific restarts throughout parts of the night. Bloom with a damaged truck outside. Devin West inside, but the caution is out. It's another crash. It's Ledbetter involved this time. Brightsman again. And it's Ryan Bloom, the race leader at the scoring loop.
Not only the race leader, also the points leader in the run for the championship as well. 36 points over Ryan Gormley, who also is right there in that battle. Here's a look at what happened. Ledbetter into Brightsman. And then they start tangoing one another down the back straightaway.
Yeah, that just looks sloppy.
Is that the second time that's happened between them two? Didn't they do that to one another in the beginning of the race?
Not specifically them in that context, but that's basically what happened at least once before, yes. With several drivers at this point, I just am not sure what to say anymore.
Well, Brian Morehouse, you're going to be happy tonight, buddy. Let's take a look at the caution information summary one more time. Brought to you by Virginia811.com, reminding you to call before you dig and dig with care. 11 cautions. That's right, 11 cautions for 39 laps of a 91-lap race so far have been ran under yellow. 4 lead changes. And we're not done yet, Justin.
At the rate we're going, honestly, I wouldn't even say the pace car's the favorite to win. I would say the safety truck's the favorite to win at the rate we're going.
Just heartbreak, calamity. Oh, my, we're not done. Okay. What were you saying about? Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I'm just flabbergasted. We did start with a lower truck count tonight, but again, no one seems to be comfortable on these restarts. We've had several drivers miss braking points over and over and over. Eventually, you would think something would give, and it seems like the answer is, in terms of what some of the adjustments have been in terms of breaking through that brick wall, is to build another brick wall.
Just gotta love Worldwide Technology Raceway. This race has been entertaining tonight. Make no bones about it. We're not done yet. If you're a fan of cautions, it has had it all. Yep. We're not finished. Thanks everybody for watching. And I don't even know. I wouldn't even say. I wouldn't even know who to say going to be the winner right now, Justin. I literally am I'm clueless.
I mean, in normal circumstances, Ryan Bloom should not be in the lead with this damaged truck. They is significantly damaged here. But with how the strategies have gone, we might see someone without a front bumper win this race. With the way things have shaped up, I just am stunned on the comeback from Bloom. He had a terrible start to this race, a horrific start as the pole sitter. Didn't even lead the lap to start the race at the line, mind you. And now is back up to the front, leading his first laps of this entire night. How things can change.
Oh, Justin, I'm looking at the chat box and I kind of wonder why Russ Lundberg was absent and decided not to run the race. He said this track is brutal. This race is brutal, and it has been no doubt that way tonight.
I mean, I'll just say this. It's been brutal in terms of being able to survive around the track. It's been all that time all night. You know what I just noticed, though, with so much detail in the pace laps? Devin West, technically, his spec map accidentally has Dan West Jr.'s 55 number on it. I think they forgot the extra 5 on it. That's the type of detail you pick up under caution.
Oh, man, we'll try this again. By the way, I think I said it was Russ Lundberg. It's actually Russ Ludwig. I think it's a fan watching. Thank you. All right, let's try this again. Restart in the restart box. Closing in on lap 100. Can we have a long green flag run? Back underway. Bloom's back up in front. The points leader leads them into 1 and 2.
Side by side, a couple rows deep. Gormley trying to move around Dennis Moore's old tires. Gormley seeming to find a good rhythm now down the back straightaway, looking to clear on by does into 3. Now Toby Ritter's outside of Moore. Stab now forced to check up. Moore quicker than the gears to keep it side by side again now for 3rd. Gormley dropping back.
Back across the line. Lap 94 of 160. Closing in on triple digits finally here at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Bloom away from them all. West in 2nd patiently. There's Moore in 3rd. Gormley right there. And Justin, here's the thing. Ryan Bloom.
Trouble.
And Ryan
back
Gormley.
straight away.
Caution.
No caution yet, but Chris White and Dan West Jr. have collided down the backstretch. We stay green. Chris White was the full way around down the backstretch with no one around him. So, trouble, turn 1.
Oh,
Kevin Smith tired by Tyler King.
Another caution.
Let's take a
Watch
look.
this.
Tyler King just absolutely got turned by Kevin Smith down the straightaway.
Look, oh wow. And the champion of last year turned into the pack in Smith still wrecked. So does Adenbacher pile in. Frank Harris, Dan Lowther. Oh no.
I don't understand that one at all. I don't know what was going on with Kevin Smith. It almost looks like he didn't realize his truck was at an angle down that whole straightaway. Point where Tyler King was going up, and eventually you can't go anywhere higher up without hitting the wall. Then you have the other 3 drivers slam on in the checkup. That's absolutely stunning.
Well, as we're approaching lap 100, another caution flag. By the way, we're also at the top of the hour. We will pause for 10 seconds of radio identification as we continue in to the final 60 laps here at Gateway. This is coverage of iRacing on LSRTV and CRN, the Community Radio Network.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
$1 a.m. Eastern Time in Canada and North Carolina, where Justin Princeton, myself, Wesley Outland are. 12 midnight for Charles Wooten in the production booth. Then you've got, of course, 11 Mountain Time, 10 Pacific, where a lot of the Northwest contenders are. And we welcome you back to our coverage. Well. Not done yet, Justin, and a lot of calamity We're not even on lap 100. And again, it's just, I'm still seeing so much aggression. Or is it just the trucks themselves? Is it that? Do you think we'll see a different race with the fixed setup car on Wednesday night compared to the open truck here tonight?
I think in terms of the fixed setup, yes, because it drives much more differently here. You still have the shifting of the gears, but in terms of the racing style, I think it's going to be a little more tricky in the first place in the fixed race. Tonight, it's an open series. You've had time to build the set. You knew you were going to this track for a week. You would think you would be able to refer back to the notes and some of the circumstances. This has just not been anybody's night, it seems, outside of maybe one or two. Every truck except for Devin West has made a mistake tonight, and you still have the driver who made one of the biggest mistakes of the race in the race lead based on the pace of the truck, despite the fact the right side of it is sheared off.
And I don't think he has a parallel even on the 25 up. Huh. Well, under caution, we're approaching lap 100. They are going to get the 1 to go indication this time by, unless for some reason they need another lap. Yeah, here we go. 1 to go. So it'll officially be lap 100 when they come back to the Geico restart and take the green flag. Oh boy. Justin, how many trucks are left?
We still have 17 trucks, which is astounding to me, on the lead lap.
A miracle?
I will say we still have 18 running because Brett Johnson is back on the racetrack 12 laps down. And at the rate we're going, we have another big one or 10. Who knows? Brett Johnson may be on the lead lap at the rate we're going tonight.
All I know is our broadcast coverage is going on 2 hours already. Close to it. Trying to reset them again here with 60 laps to go. Lap 100 off turn 4 at the Geico restart zone. Back underway, green flag in the air. What do you say, Charles? 50 minutes remaining on the clock. 50 minutes or 60 laps to go here at Gateway.
Able to go down the back straight away. How long do we last this time? William Fletcher, significant damage. Jaden Ledbetter on the faster pair. Zips up the middle. Get by O'Hare in the charity machine. Fletcher now runs to the curbing. Meanwhile, behind, Brightsman and Kynes also battle in the heart of the pack as everyone tries to find some footing.
Yeah, I think that's the word. Try to find footing, if you will. Working the way back off into the corner. Into turn 2, down the back straightaway. Bloom, West, Moore, Gormley, Stab now. Could we finally see these guys get single file? Not for long. White down to the inside of Harris. He's going after Gormley. This is in the top 15 out of 4.
These drivers in the damage last time. Dan West Jr. amongst those on the recovery drive has been in at least one crash already since having to serve the black flag and get the lucky dog. Bad run to the corner, still trying to time it up. Fletcher way up the track. O'Hare squeezes off the corner. Trouble, Brightsman gets turned down the backstretch.
Brightsman turned off of Fletcher's front end. Caution out again. And the hits just keep on coming. I think they were teammates, obviously, there with West and Brightsman. Clear a path. I'm going to follow you. Anywhere you go, I go. And then he just kind of ran out of room for the 46, Justin, right here.
Yeah, Fletcher just got loose off the corner from the very top of the racetrack. And Brightsman, with the frustration, just backs it up the whole back straightaway under the power. Tries to flick spin it. Instead hits the wall. Brightsman at this point has to be upset. Although I will say he is common his apology in case of the cause of the caution.
I'm looking, I mean, we saw it again on the replay, and I don't know if I'd per se say that it was Fletcher's fault. I mean, I know he got high out of turn number 2, but Brightsman went from the bottom trying to clear around Dan West Jr. and O'Hare and pulled up kind of in front of the 28, crossed over the front of his nose. Nowhere for Fletcher really to go.
Yeah, you're right on that one, kind of there. But now,
it's
interesting
those
point.
Things we talk about. It's those things we talk about, Justin, that you see it happen one way, and then you go back and you look at replays, or you go back and you see it from different angles, and you kind of have a different opinion of it after you get a chance to see it in slow-mo in real time.
At this point, though, I find it intriguing how the strategy is now going to play out here. Fletcher did have a fast repair to bank. Drivers like O'Hare do not. Brightsman, it looks like, is out of the truck. Might be done for the night. Everybody else in the pit lane has used a fast repair already in this race so far. It's not been a pretty night. One thing I want to mention... Yeah,
this is going to hurt Brightsman, Justin. I was going to say, I'm sorry, 6th in the points, up 4 spots from 10th last week after the run he had, of course, at the race of track we were last week at... oh my goodness, I'm losing my train of thought here at Darlington, a matter of fact. Hello. And this isn't a good night. It's the old cliche, 3 steps forward and 2 steps back.
Yeah, I don't even know if we're taking any steps forward at this, the way things have played out. The one thing I do want to mention, the paint scheme we talked about with O'Hare tonight, it's a different look. I mentioned the different look we've seen. To give more context on it, it's actually the charity paint scheme for Damn Worth It, which is a company that tries to have pure-led mental health awareness campaigns at college campuses across the United States. Stephen O'Hare bringing attention to that campaign here tonight. Some of the branches include campuses at Oregon State University, the University of Kentucky, San Jose State University, Valparaiso University, Cal Poly Humboldt, amongst those. So trying to bring attention to that charity tonight by representing that car or representing that charity on that truck tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty cool again to try to spread awareness, and we definitely do appreciate that as well. So kind of like what we have with the Wotel Truck Series with Mission 22. All right, well, lap 105, nobody's pitting. Sim time is ticking down, so are the laps. Justin, I'm at a loss for words. I mean, let's look one more time at the caution information presented by Virginia 811. Call before you dig. There it is. 13 cautions, 49 laps. Justin, I'd be hard pressed. This is the most cautions of the year for the Northwest Series of our events.
It's been a while since we had a race that has become this sort of infamous for cautions. I think we're not done yet either. The thing is, I still don't know who is going to win the race at this rate because of how many different tire strats there are. At this point, you're playing on the clock more than anything else, in my opinion. It may still show laps, but I still think the clock comes into a factor at if we get another 3 cautions back to back to back.
All right, well, let's reset it for you. Brian Bloom West, front row. Ryan Gormley, Jeff Stabnow. And then you got Toby Ritters. Solid run for the 23. Back to green. Lap 107. And we're underway.
Clean start off to 1 for now. Ryan Bloom up and way out of the groove, though. Gormley still sticking to the bottom, slides it in front of Stabnow in the battle for third. No move from Devin West. 3 wide offset now for third. Stab now looking inside of Gormley. Ritter's looking inside of Stab now. Stab now shuts the door on Ritter's. Up the track goes Gormley through 3.
Yeah, what a solid drive there on the restart. Top 2 of Bloom and West pull away now. Stab down to 3rd. He holds off Gormley. Ritter's, though, down to the inside. He's looking for more. He's looking for 3rd as they work into 2.
Stab now trying to play the lines. Gormley trying to play the grip. Ritter's near contact. Trouble for Stab now off the corner. A terrible exit. Gormley squeezes all the way to the side of the exit of the racetrack, trying to make the pass outside. Another launch, Gormley way up the track, nearly to the safer barrier.
Yeah, Gormley and Ledbetter now back up in that battle, and they're squeezing in on one another again as they work off the front stretch. Gormley now up to 4th. Stab now got a hornet's nest behind him going to 1.
Ledbetter trying to poke away forward out on the outside. Dan West Jr. with some of the freshest tires also in the fray. Toby Ritter's poor exit. Gormley clear, able to get along forward for 4th. Ritter's squeezes out Dan West Jr. West Jr. pulls out. Ledbetter pulls in, charges high side to make the move to hold on to 5th.
Working off 4, coming to the line. It'll be lap 110 now, 50 laps to go. Look at now, Ritter's, West. You put him back in the battle now. This is for the top 10 for 6th spot. Dan West Jr. trying to get back in the front. He's on the inside of Ritter's. He's going after Ledbetter and more, going to 3.
Toby Ritter's telling Dan West Jr. go ahead midway down the backstretch. Dennis Moore also taking advantage. 3 wide behind, meanwhile, Kynes struggling off the corner once more. O'Hara passes by, taking advantage to pass by William Fletcher as well. Dan Lowther trying to find a way around the inside of the 20. Forced to regroup. Fletcher hard inside. Lowther nearly to the back of Fletcher up the track.
All that momentum Chris Kynes had, he lost on the outside lane. He got sideways, sidetracked in front of Fletcher. Fletcher now clears by Hines, and now he's going to go after Harris. Harris on the outside. Here comes now Kynes back to the bottom. Lowther back to the inside. All this going on as they work on lap 111.
All sorts of wrestling matches starting to break out. Everybody wants every spot on the track. Still side by side up to 1. Kynes backs out. Lowther up to 12. Meanwhile, the leaders are starting to have some pokes. Devin West the last time through 3 and 4 took a poke. Speaking of peeking, Dan West Jr. peeks underneath Gormley. Now for the 5th position inside Gormley. Trying to stick it this time. Finds a little grip, but loses ground.
I'm going to tell you something, man. That 55 is just absolutely in stealth mode. You can't catch him. He's bonsaiing everybody, clearing every truck in his path. Just move out of the way. Stab now knows that he tries to put a block on the 55 of West, but Dan West Jr. will clear Jeff Stab now on the back straightaway. He's now in 2nd. Gormley bouncing off the wall. Ritter's also getting some of that cloud dust into 3.
West Jr. clears by fully off of the entry. Stab now trying to let the slow roll come into play. Keep in mind, Dennis Moore and some of the freshest tires on the racetrack is coming in fast as well. The 44 builds the run down the front stretch. Passes by all the logos from the inside wall. Times to the inside of the curbing. Stab now gives up the inside groove. Moore tries to go on the slow roll on the bottom of the racetrack. Side by side still down the back. Stab now better run.
All of this going on to the back straightaway in the 3. It's Ryan Bloom, the leader, the points leader. Son, father, West, now 2nd, 3rd. Here's the deal. Dan West Jr. has now got to run down Bloom and West because they're in their own little world right now. 3 seconds, the interval between Ryan Bloom and Devin West.
That's not going to be easy to close up. Need a lot of luck.
Unless we get a caution.
Don't jinx it this time. The last time it happened, we had 2 crash at the same time. Speaking of battling, though, Dennis Moore squeezes underneath. Stab now. Now Dennis Moore moves up. So now, Dan West Jr. fully more than 1 second up over the rest of the pack. Is this a sign we have a long run now, I wonder? Just
Right
as I
now,
say that,
lap
Kevin
one.
Smith parks it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Kevin Smith out. Tyler King out. 16 trucks on the lead lap. Chris White. You got the leader, Ryan Bloom. Up in front, the conductor, the caboose is going to be White. It's on the lead lap at 16 right now. Oh. Boy, oh boy. I'm kind of like, what are we going to see next, Justin? Hold your breath. Ritters has impressed me tonight. He's gone back and forth up on the scoring pylon like a pendulum. He's fell back to 8th now. Gormley after him. Ryan Gormley needing Justin to have a good run because he's second in the points.
Yeah, the thing is, they're on some of the oldest tires on the racetrack right now. 40-plus laps right now on those Goodyear Eagles. But the tires are that old, you're not going to have the best of grips. Gormley struggling out the corner, scrapes the wall. Avoids significant damage, however. So now it could get tricky for some as these tires go away.
It's tricky, like Run DMC. 40 to go, next time by. Justin, come on, you know that song, don't you?
No, I do not.
Really? Wow, I'll have to send it to you.
Yes. Okay, well, you also owe me a jar of mayonnaise for reference.
Dukes.
But still.
Dukes mayonnaise, brother. Yes, and I owe a 12-pack of cheer wine to our colleague Jason in New Jersey as well. Poor guys.
Looking to have a little bit of cheer and charge to the pack. Frank Harris looking to pass by a driver with fresher tires, mind you. William Fletcher charge into the corner. Gormley in front, possibly uses a pick. Exit better for Harris. Fletcher watches as Gormley nearly scrapes the wall down. Inside peeking, Frank Harris shows the nose down the backstretch. Fletcher slams the door instead, forces Harris up top.
Bloom on the bottom of the racetrack. He has got a 3-second lead over, of course, Dan West Jr. That's Bloom and West right there within a half a second. And look at Harris now. Harris and Lowther battling for the top 10. Lowther trying to get after Fletcher, going after Gormley. Justin, be that as it may, Frank Harris, what another great drive for the Oregon legend in 11. Trying to jinx it, Justin. Trying to jinx it, Justin. The longest green flag succession run we've had in quite a while.
Well, you nearly jinxed it there. Lowther able to pass by Fletcher without contact, though, through 1 and 2. He zips ahead. Harris now looking for the peak. Fletcher wants it back. Fletcher forces Lowther to make a mistake. Self-inflicted by Lowther into the wall as Fletcher takes it back, so does Harris.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't realize when you're in racing mode here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, you make contact off another truck or car, and you shoot them up off the banking way up the hill. Justin, one thing that just gets me is the track is more wider than people realize, for sure.
Yeah, it's actually very wide, at least 4 or 5 groups technically in terms of the width of the trucks. So you can fit a lot of trucks wide. In theory, doesn't mean it logically works like that with how many are actually legit grooves you can utilize here. But with the way the racing has played out tonight, these drivers have been testing every single line possible. Speaking of lines, O'Hare nearly pokes into Ledbetter's quarter panel, forced to back up from the Jimmy Johnson paint.
Thank you very much, Ritter's family. She knows what I'm talking about the song by It's Tricky. Anyhow, Bloom the leader, West and Dan West Jr. Dennis Moore, Jeff Stabnow, they're way behind 6 seconds from 5th to the leader. And Dan West Jr. not up to the leader yet. That's Son West and Ryan Bloom. In some shape or form, Justin, every single truck on this racetrack has been a part of calamity, except for maybe Devin West.
Which is stunning. And the only time Devin West has to come into pit during a caution has been for fuel tonight. Fletcher passing by Lowther, by the way, that's for 12 for the 11th position. Rather, check that. Lowther wants to cross over again. Both of them do not want to give up this 11th place.
And you use the word crossover or the slider crossover in the dirt racing world here. O'Hare down to the inside. Trying to make a run on now. Stab now. This is for 6th.
Inside, Stab now way off the gas, having to avoid the contact. O'Hare peeled him off the bottom. Stab and O'Hare up to the 6th position once again. Stab now losing lots of ground in turn after the pass. Stab now saying he's pitting this time by Stab now. Has just indicated the max fuel run at 72 laps on the tank without the pace laps. Now it becomes a question, do Bloom and Devin West have enough gas to make it to the end if Jeff Stabnow has to pit right now?
Yeah, Jeff Stabnow falling all the way back to 10th. Stabnow 11th, Stabnow 12th, he's pitting. Undercut? Could he be going for the undercut on the other leaders, Justin? Could this work for Jeff Stabnow?
I think it's just the end of the fuel tank is the question mark. Devin West is in. Devin West is in and he's in the grass. Devin West coming into pit under green with 30 laps to go.
I don't think they can make it. I don't think they can make it to the... This race has had it all. Cautions after cautions, and now it might even become a fuel strategy battle.
Ryan Bloom still keeping it on the racetrack. Keep in mind as Devin West enters his pit stall. Now it becomes the huge question mark. How long does Bloom risk to stay out on the track hoping for a caution? Dan West Jr. and Dennis Moore battling out of those who can make it on gas, mind you. 2.5 seconds back.
So if this race didn't already have enough crazy drama, obviously I'm also thinking, Justin, some other trucks that might have pitted with Stabnow during that last caution sequence. I believe Audenbacher pitted with him. I know Toby Ritter's pitted with him. Toby Ritters has no choice. He's got to come down to the pit lane.
Yep, Ritters just came down. In fact, right now, Audenbacher has been down another additional time since then, though. Also at risk, keep in mind, based on those numbers, Ryan Gormley is at risk. So we might have at least 2 other pit stops of those in the top 10 who cannot make it on gas. Everybody else, in theory, may be able to make it. There he goes. Ryan Bloom from the lead is in.
This will put the leader being Dennis Moore. Moore, West. Ledbetter down to 3rd. Green flag pit stops in a caution-filled race, if this wasn't already enough on the strategy to determine the winner. We're closing in on 25 to go as well.
So in goes the 25. Take him out of contention for now. Now the major question as Bloom takes the fast repair finally, appears or no, does not rather, is who's going to have enough speed at the end of this race? Dennis Moore still holds on to the advantage, but Dan West Jr. looks mighty loose off the corners. He's lost 2/10. He's nearly spun it again off 2.
Boy, this race has definitely been Just a mind game of virtual emotions tonight. Dennis Moore, the leader now. Dan West Jr. back up to second. Ledbetter third, over 6.5 seconds back, though. Look at now Harris and Gormley battle. This is going on for fifth. Ritter's in the mix. So is Lowther. And they've all pitted. They're still on the lead lap.
Gormley trying to give space for Ritters. Ritters on freshies, wraps the bottom quick. Gormley, lots of space to complete the integration. Here comes Lowther a little bit close. Now bobbles back and loses ground. Ritters next to deal with is Frank Harris. Harris giving the bottom line. Not as much space though. Ritters forced to burp the brake more so in the middle of the corner to avoid the slide up.
Gormley off the wall, keeps it going. Look at now Ritters pull away. Ritters is gone from Harris. This is now Ritters a lap down. Stab now a lap down. Kynes a lap down. Devin West back on the lead lap. And he had to do it in race mode too. Justin, are we going to see Dennis Moore and Dan West Jr. and O'Hare and Ledbetter and Harris, Gormley? Are they going to have to peel off? The answer is yes. Ledbetter just went in 36.
Ledbetter not confident on the gas, it appears. It's going to be close for everybody else if that's the case. Ledbetter misses his stall for good measure. This could get wild.
His pit box, Justin. That's heartbreaking. Not only do you got to make a splash and go, where it should have been less than 5 seconds. Now you literally got to backtrack. You lose at least another 2 seconds because of that.
At minimum. Dennis Moore, though, my goodness, it's been a rough night at times for this 44 truck. Question's going to be, can he stretched the tank? Number-wise, it says yes. Logic-wise, not sure, because here's the thing. Devin West is still 29 seconds back on the racetrack. Depending on how things play out, you have to ask the bigger question here, is there enough time for Devin West to make up the whole ground in 20 laps?
Caution will change everything. And right now, the longest green flag of the race finally underway as they come to the line. Justin Prince, 20 laps to go. Dennis Moore.
Still liking what I've seen from the 44 truck right now in terms of this later stage. Dan West Jr. does not seem to have stability right now, Wesley. Keep it on that 55 of the backdrop and all this. He has been loose every time he's been through third gear to get that boost through turn 2 exit. And that's what's killing him on this run, with that little bit of a tire difference and the damage on the 55 compared to the mostly clean truck now Dennis Moore has.
Gormley inside, battling Lowther. This is for fifth. What a drive for not only Lowther, Gormley number 2 in the points coming into tonight's race. He's doing exactly what he needs to do to put himself in contention to at least finish ahead of Ryan Bloom, Justin, because he's the points leader. And Gormley is in 6th. Bloom is 5 spots behind him in 11th, but that is for not Ryan Gormley. Natterdays has got to come to the pits in his Chevrolet.
See that coming up.
Anybody in the top 10, they're going to have to pit, Justin. I don't think there's anybody that's going to have to. Devin West could possibly win this race.
That's why I was asking the question if there was enough time to gain up time. It's going to be intriguing. I don't know for certain, but I think Dennis Moore, based on the pit stints, might be in the best shape. Dan West Jr. is still a bit of a question mark, though, based on the fact that with the last timing, would still have to be very tight around that 60 lap mark that some drivers are struggling to get to. O'Hare in the same pit cycle as Dennis Moore. Frank Harris, same cycle as West Jr., he is going to be tight. Dan Lowther going to be tight. Everybody else past that, I think, is fine. The problem is going to be, how does this race cycle for the checkered? I don't think anyone's expecting a green flag run, and guess what? Now everybody's finding out what they really have here.
Yeah, finally took long enough, but we are seeing that. Coming to 15 to go this time by when they come to the line. They're on the back straightaway. There's the second place truck, Shelton Washington's Dan West Jr. 1.5 seconds back to Dennis Moore. If it's gonna be for them to fight for the win, JP, it's gonna be the Moore West show. Everyone else is 10 seconds back. Devin West now up to 7th.
Pretty clear some of the contenders for the season, how things have shaped out in terms of long run pace. The West family racing trucks, they have been very quick out of that camp. Even some of their fellow LSRTV teammates have not had the same long run pace outside of Brightsman compared to what we've seen throughout the year. But you know who's had an absolutely brilliant run all night? You mentioned this with Frank Harris. Frank Harris at this point, despite all the damage, despite everything, despite being on the back foot on strategy half the night, might have one of its best races in a long while here in this 11 truck if he can hold on here, or more importantly, stretch this tank to get to the checkered. Just one top 10 all season, and that was a 9th back at Dover, mind you.
And he felt like that was a win. This would be on cloud 9 for him. He'd be ecstatic. Not only a top 10, but also a top 5 finish. He's in 4th right now. White Stab now, they battle. Couple of trucks a lap down, though. Stab now is fighting for that spot to be the first truck a lap down. If the caution was to come out, he would get the free pass. If, a big word, JP, if.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not even sure that's going to be the greatest situation for some of the drivers right now. Devin West amongst those in the battle right now for 6th, already passing by Brightsman. West does not. Devin West does not have enough time. He's only gaining up to 6/10 per lap in clean space, unless everybody pits.
While all this goes on, we're watching all of these drivers working their way across the line. Another lap on the board here. And man, very impressed. Dennis Moore still, for the most part, doing exactly what needs to be done to put himself in contention to win here tonight. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it looks like that could possibly become a reality. 10 to go when they come to the line. Here at White Technology Raceway, the longest green flag run of the race so far. When they've come back around, Justin, 1.67 seconds to Dennis Moore. Devin West, he's losing ground on Dennis.
Yeah, losing tons of it. I think Dan West Jr.'s tires are gone, based on what we've seen on the interval right now.
Yeah, Dan West. We're watching Devin West. He's moved up to 6th. Hey, all right, so here's the equivalent. It's 35 seconds around the racetrack projectively. 33.99 by Dennis Moore. Best lap of the race so far, 33.80 by Dan West Jr. Now, you got Devin West 21.5 seconds back to the leaders. Justin, that's the equivalent of what, 3/4 of the racetrack on distance?
Correct, about that for the most part. and that's not going to be sustainable to be even close up. If anything, the tires have started to equalize out, I've noticed, based on those splits at times. The highest up Devin West can get is the battle. Keeping an eye on screen. Frank Harris, Dan Lather, 4th position. That's the best opportunity to gain any more points or spots on the racetrack based on the current projections.
Pucker time, single digits, finally on the racetrack. Ready to bring this one to the home stretch, if you will. Thank you for everybody for watching. It wasn't pretty at first. Somehow getting to the end. And now it's a matter of who is going to survive on fuel strategy. We think we got what we got. And Justin, I think you got some of these guys that they're just going to either conserve, burp the throttle as best as they can, coast if you can, not run out of fuel, and just pray that there's not a caution with 7 laps to go.
I think that's a lot of the factoring into this at this point, but in trouble! The battle! Dan Louder into the back of Frank Harris. Devin West drives by outside. You nearly spoken into existence again. We stay green.
Oh, they saves it. We stay green. We stay green. I'm happy. Five laps to go.
Oh my goodness. That's been the type of night. Brightsman outside for 6th.
We definitely don't need a caution now, not with 5 laps to go. Dan Lowther back straightaway. Brightsman 6th and 7th spot. Oh boy, Sean Brightsman's been in a demolition derby day, isn't it? I think he's glad he's got to the end.
I think it's been at least 4 crashes the way things have gone out tonight. Keep in mind, though, still some chance of points. Jeff Stab now top 10, now passing by Fletcher. Next up on the list, John Ottenbacher, and then it's the race leader, Dennis Moore, to be able to get the lap back. So important for Stab now to get by at least Ottenbacher, just in case here.
Under 4 miles remaining here in the home stretch. Charles, I just wonder how much time's left on the clock. Actually in sim time. We're closing in on 3 to go. 15 minutes. Less than 15 minutes remain in sim time. They're going to beat that feat unless something crazy happens right now. 4 laps to go. Dennis Moore looking to... This will be his 2nd win this year if it happens. He'll become a repeat winner, joining Ryan Bloom as well as Devin West. And he'll join winners this year of Ryan Gormley, Dennis Moore. Of course, we'll also be joining Stephen O'Hare and Dan Lowther, as well as Caden Anderson. 3, 2 to go. Justin ready to go to the home stretch. He's just got to hold on from here. Matter of fact, he could probably coast from here. I don't want him to do what that guy did last night of the Wotel series, if you remember. Bounced off the wall and still coasted across the finish line. But that's how strong that 44 is right now, with over close to a 3.8 second lead on Dan West Jr.
If Dennis Moore tonight doesn't need to join the Discord to be able to set up for the post-race interview on the last lap. Dennis Moore, right. Still 1.25 miles to go. White flag is out. Final time around from Worldwide Technology Raceway.
1 more lap remains for Dennis Moore. Again, I set the stage looking for another victory, his 2nd this year. He was 3rd in the points. He'll now claim his 4th top 5, 7 top 10s in his 9th start, and his 2nd win. And a wild one we will never forget at Worldwide Technology. Dennis Moore off turn number 4. Hot Wheels colors leading the way with CLICKIT and Bomb Speed. Another win racing for the team, and the 44 wins at Gateway.
An unreal night, to say the very least. I don't know what to say. It's been just an unreal night, and how about that to join the multi-race winner club?
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. For Dennis and another for Dennis Moore tonight in the all-time stats list. This will now become his. Well, if the stats are correct, his only for this season. I want the all-time stats is what I'm looking for the Northwest Truck Series. And then Dennis Moore, let the celebration begin down on the front straight. Northwest high five salute now awaits him in the number 44, Justin.
Yeah, now with that, the rest of the entire series looking to congratulate him again. It wasn't easy. And a lot of trucks went flipping at times. But you had to survive, and guess who survived?
Dennis Moore of 139 on the all-time list. Of course, now he will claim his 9th career win with the Northwest Racing Series trucks to go along with 9 poles, 32 top 5s, and 53 top 10s. His most recent win was, of course, before tonight at Iowa, back on, it was at Homestead in March. Make no bones about it. It's a late one. We're going to have a very fast post-race wrap-up. Dennis Moore, Dan West Jr., Stephen O'Hare, Devin West, Sean Brightsman, top 5. Lowther, Bloom, Harris, Stab, now Onnebacher, your top 10. And only, by the way, 7 trucks on the lead lap.
Before you ask, Frank Harris did run out of gas on the final lap. That's why he dropped back to the 8th position. He's confirmed it over the radio. Ledbetter 11th. Fletcher, Ritters, White, Gormley, and Kynes all 1 lap down. Then, Brett Johnson, 14 laps down, did take the checkered. Everybody else did not make it there. Kevin Smith, Tower King, Troy Daggett, early exits.
RSL rundown, Vining, Hunter, Tedrick, Kamari, Cooper, again, Carl Burke unable to make the race. All right, so we had that long green flag run to the finish, but when it's all said and done, the Virginia 811 caution summary is 13 cautions for 50 laps. So 110 were green flag to the finish. Or in distance, 110. That long green flag run there to the finish of the race. Lead changes 5. That's brought to you by Virginia811.com, reminding you to dig with care and call before you dig. Coming up, post-race wrap-up, and we are going to grab a word. Dennis Moore, Dan West Jr., Stephen O'Hare, they're on deck. Wild one will reach point. When it all updates and more. Close things out here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Wild round number 10 for the Northwest Truck Series. We're back in a moment. This is coverage of iRacing on LSRTV and on CRN, the Community Radio Network. Welcome back to the coverage of the Northwest Truck Series presented by CLICKIT RV, iRacing on LSRTV, CRN, Community Radio Network. We'll wrap things up in a moment. That was a very eventful race here, no doubt. A very surprised down to the end of the race of a caution-filled show at Gateway. It come down to fuel strategy. But it did, if that wasn't enough. We're going to talk now to the third place man of the race, Stephen O'Hare. Stephen, your take of this race. It was very eventful, for sure.
Yeah, sorry everybody had to stay up so late and watch all that wreck fest in the beginning, but looked like the wrecking crew got one in victory lane, so congrats to Dennis. I'm just super pumped to get this damn worth it board on the podium there in third place. It's hard fought, but we survived, which was the name of the game tonight. And, for Mental Health Awareness Month, just super pumped to get this special paint scheme a little recognition.
It was a tough race, it seemed, throughout the night. To talk us through how you kept yourself in focus and kept yourself charging when it seemed everybody was having a problem tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there was no way to get any type of rhythm or figure out what your truck's going to do, in race trim on a long run. So it was just pretty much buying time and trying to stay awake. I had to take a pee break there under one of the 1,000 cautions and lost some track position. So didn't really matter too much with all the cautions. But
why do you think it was, Stefan? If you could also throw out your sponsors as well, man. Why do you think it was the way it was for at least to the final 40 laps of the race?
Yeah, I mean, I think people were just pushing too hard. It's not a super easy track. It's 160 laps, and I think people were just a little impatient. But again, thank you for sticking around, and glad to get the Stam Worth It Ford F-150 in third place. Thanks to Beaver State Racing, great group of guys, persevered. Tyler had some bad luck there. Certainly want to thank everybody at Northwest Racing Series and you guys at LSRTV.
There you go. There's Stefan O'Hare again. Obviously, you can tell he's dejected there, but he is at least on the podium in third spot. Runner-up of the race, Dan West Jr. The West slump will finally come to an end for winners of the West family, at least. And Dan, your take of this race, man, being a two-time series champion back-to-back in 2020 and 2021. Gateway not impressed to you for the run? What do you think?
Oh, I love this track, but like Stefan's saying, it just, when you can't get a rhythm going, you just can't get the race to, you just can't get a feel of the race, the truck. It's nice to get some green flag runs and get a green flag pit stop and make an adjustment to your truck. But when you're running around there pacing the whole time, and then you finally do make a pit stop, I mean, your tires look great, and it's just tough to get a read. So I just think, there's a lot of frustration out here tonight just because of all the pacing. But it's just, if you look at like our practice session that we had last night, there was nobody in it. So this track, you have to make laps, and if you're not making laps and you're just showing up on race night, you're just making it tough for everybody else.
Yeah, it was a tough night for many of the drivers tonight, including yourself. You actually picked the speeding penalty at one point with the pit signal situation. How difficult was it in turn to be able to make it through the field tonight, knowing what you know now?
Well, what I know now is I wouldn't have passed the pace car going into the pits. That's actually what I did. I just didn't pay attention, which is all my fault. But yeah, it was coming back up through there was, you pretty much just left a gap going into turn one, because you just kind of, the way things were going, you just kind of felt like something was going to happen. So. And hey, I raised my hand. I caused an issue for Chris White that wasn't his deal. I got sideways coming off the corner and collected him. So I was part of that deal too. So yeah, it's it's a fun track. It's a long night. We're all tired and we're a little frustrated, but at the end of the day, I guess I feel pretty fortunate to be where I'm at.
All right, Dan. I guess nothing left to say, man, but just thank your sponsors, and we'll see what happens with the fixed setup cars here on Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's going to be better for everybody. Congrats, Dennis Moore. Thank you, LSRTV, CRN Sports, Effective Web Solutions, and thanks for everybody listening and hanging in there with us. And we promise to put on a better show Wednesday night.
There you go. There's the thoughts again of the driver out of Shelton, Washington. Again, Dan West Jr., two-time series champion. Again, on the second spot here tonight when this race concludes. And again, by the way, they will be back in action for 200 miles, 160 laps this upcoming Wednesday night for the fixed setup series. Jason Rockefeller, myself on the call on LSRTV and CRN. We're going to go to Victory Lane now. Dennis Moore. Dennis, the points have updated as well. We'll give you the points update in a moment at the end of round 10. Second win ninth in your 80th career start for the Northwest Series, and you survived this place. What's your take of the good, the bad, the ugly of Gateway, or Worldwide Technology Raceway, as they call it today?
No, I second what both those guys just said. It was a terrible race. I mean, myself, like Dan said, I caused a caution. Some guys are pushing 3 wide where they probably shouldn't, and then that causes cautions. So it's just, like Dan said, nobody's in practice last night, and they're trying to push it 3 wide at a track that's really hard to run 2 wide at. So I just don't get it. But it was a good last 50 laps there. The pit strategy finally worked out for me. Felt like I, lost 2 that I should have won early in the season, and I just won this one that I probably shouldn't have won. So it is what it is.
Then I found most stunning tonight was the fact that your team's trucks, despite significant damage for yourself and for Ryan Bloom, still led a fair amount of laps in the closing stages in the final third. How much work in turn went into keep that speed to be able to drive a truck that had basically the right side sheared off its truck and still run that quick?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a testament to the setup. Me, Ryan, Kevin, and Toby put a ton of laps in this week trying to get ready for this race. It seemed the damage didn't really matter, even in practice with lap times, as long as you didn't have the fenders crinkled in.
All right, man. Well, Dennis, the points have updated, and you're now 31 points behind the leader of Ryan Bloom. And you bumped up 1 spot, bumped Ryan Gormley back 1. He's in 3rd. You're up to 2nd. That literally is how important this race needed to be for you to have a spot to finish and do well.
Yeah, it's nice to be top 2 in points, but, it's a long season. We're both in the playoffs. We just got to get everybody else in the playoffs. But my sponsors, CLICKIT RV, you guys looking for a used RV, new RV, get a hold of Kevin Smith. All the guys at the Northwest Racing Series, yeah, it was a wreck fest, but it's still fun to race with you guys, get mad at each other. We'll see you guys next week. And everyone at LSRTV, thank you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be the driver, Dennis Moore, again winning for Bomb Speed and Win Racing, the driver of the CLICKIT RV, number 44. I love the Hot Wheels colors, by the way. I really do. I did a race in South Carolina before Darlington, and there was a guy by the name of Dennis Werner that won a race, and he was driving a Hot Wheels car as well. And I just have always been a fan of those race cars, the Kyle Petty racing era, the Hot Wheels cars, no doubt growing up. And I love your throwback for sure.
Appreciate it.
All right, Dennis Moore winning. He's now 2nd of the points, by the way. Ryan Bloom is the man in the points lead. Dennis Moore somehow will move up to 2nd, or will with the win, obviously. I meant to say Ryan Bloom surviving the chaos, if you will. 46 back is Ryan Gormley. 59 back is Toby Ritters. And 4th, Jeff Stapp, now 60 back. Then you got Brightsman Dan West Jr. climbing with 2 spots to 7th. Stephen O'Hare, John Audenbacher, both in the -1 category. And Dan Lowther up 1 with 93 points now, separating the top 10. Justin, your final take of this race. I follow the same sentiments of everybody, whether you watched or listened to even the frustration of the drivers. This one was not pretty. They admit that, even inside post-race interviews. We'll shrug it off, and we'll get ready for Charlotte next week, no doubt.
Yeah, Charlotte, I think, going to be a very different type of race based on what we've seen here tonight. Only 100 laps there. That's going to be the intriguing part. So these drivers will have to make sure they have their setups dialed in, especially since it's the final of the RTP-based rounds this season. After that, it's all up to them on building the trucks, because you have legacy tracks. You have Okayama road course. You have Legacy Phoenix without the dogleg being utilized. You have the Brickyard. You have Mosport. You have so many different tracks that, guess what? You won't be usually seen in the official cycle after the upcoming race. So you better be able to figure things out if you haven't after that point.
That should be a fun one. It should be a good one. Again, Charlotte Road to Pro qualifier next Monday night and next Wednesday night. Of course, this upcoming Wednesday, we're back here at Gateway with a fixed series. Jason Rockefeller and myself as well. Well, that'll do it. On behalf of everybody at Rocket Racing Media, iRacing, LSRTV, and CRN. For Jeff Staff now, of course, Charles Wooten, Justin Prince. I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations, Dennis Moore.